What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mike and Kris show.
Yes.
We are happy to be here. It should be sounding nice and amazing for you because I got my fancy schmancy. What'd you call it?
I called it a switchboard.
Switchboard.
Sounds right to me.
I do.
I love all, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I love all of the colors on it.
I know, the color does look
It's actually
nice.
really bright and happy to look
Right?
at. Yeah.
Well, basically what this means... So first off, this is going to turn into a podcast. And in order to be a podcast, the audio needs to sound top-notch. So hopefully it does. It's going to sound a little bit better every single time. But now that we have implemented this new switchboard,
Love it.
should sound a lot better. I know some people were having issues because they said my voice wasn't sounding good, hers wasn't either, but it was also because I had it to where I was on one side.
It was like one speaker for each person, right?
It was.
Yeah. So if you have one headphone in, you could really only hear one person.
Right. I thought it was kind of a good idea at the time, but...
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
But hey, we're figuring this out. I can't even tell you how many things I have screwed up, but in doing so, I figure out a better way.
That's how you learn, right?
I mean, that really is life.
We all screw things up.
Right?
Exactly.
That should be there should be a little instruction booklet for life. It should just be like, do stuff, screw it up, fix it, be happy.
Learn the lesson and move on. That's all of life.
Yes,
Exactly.
totally. So how have you been this week, sweetie?
Oh, it's been a great week. Do you know what I got this guy into this week? Do you know what I'm going to mention?
Let's hear it.
True crime show.
True crime. Oh, I got to do it. Hold on. It didn't work. I'm a loser. It didn't work. Let's try it again. What do we do, baby?
We got Mike into a true crime show.
I had to do it.
Wait, why didn't it work
I just want
before?
to push because I didn't have this button on.
Oh.
See?
All right.
Do stuff. Screwed up. Fix
Learn.
it. Now I know.
Then you don't do it wrong again.
Little green light's got to be on.
Well, there we go.
So about true crime.
I have loved true crime before even realizing that I love true crime since I was a little kid because I grew up watching America's Most Wanted with my parents. And it always just fascinated me. And obviously they're really hard and tough stories. And I am someone who I like solved mysteries. I
Of course
don't
you did.
really like
Why
unsolved
wouldn't you?
mysteries.
You were a child watching Unsolved Mysteries.
No,
As well.
I don't like unsolved mysteries because I want justice and I want to know the answers.
Oh, you
know what
want
I mean?
solved mysteries.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Although I'm pretty sure the show that I got you into that we started watching, which is it The Vanishing at Hotel Cecil on Netflix?
I'm going to have to write it in here. Something about the Cecil Hotel.
Cecil Hotel.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's called Hotel Cecil. You'll see it on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that is an unsolved mystery. We haven't gotten to the end yet, but I'm pretty sure I've also heard that story maybe on a podcast. But I love like true crime podcasts and shows, and usually Mike thinks it's super weird.
No. I wouldn't say it's weird. I just because
You didn't
Kris,
grow up on America's Most Wanted.
Not really. I did watch some Unsolved Mystery, but Kristen has her favorite podcast. Is it your favorite? Your true crime podcast?
I mean, it
Or
depends.
One of them.
I listen to like mindset motivational podcasts and then
Okay,
polar
but you love
opposite.
to listen
Yeah.
to it for entertainment while
Yeah,
you're
when I'm making
cooking
dinner,
and
yeah.
stuff, right? And I mean, I didn't really think much of it. I didn't understand at first, like how it's so interesting to people.
And now you do.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I could see how it's because it really gets you thinking too.
Especially the way they lay out the story. That's why not every true crime podcast or show is going to be good. You have to be a really good storyteller.
Okay.
Because just like the show we're watching, it's unfolding and they're going into like different little stories, but you're kind of guessing as you go.
So
Right?
without ruining it for anyone, what could we say about this show? About
Well,
the
this is a
Hotel Cecil?
girl that goes missing from the hotel. She lived in Canada and wanted to come to California to travel around and goes missing while she's staying at this hotel. And it's like a huge mystery around her whereabouts, what happened. There looks to be some shady stuff happening. It's very interesting.
It's hotel in Skid Row in Los
Yes.
Angeles.
Yeah, in a really terrible area.
Which is a tough area.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't want to give too much of it away, but it's like super interesting and has like super weird ties to some movies,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Well, serial killers.
Yeah.
Is that what you meant?
No, it's a movie. I just don't want to give it away.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. You have to tell me afterwards.
Okay. Well, if people watch it, they'll understand.
All right,
but
perfect.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Now I can see why you're into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Anything else you want to talk about true crime?
I think that's enough for now.
Okay.
True crime lovers will understand.
Okay, good.
And if you don't like true crime, maybe this is a way to kind of see if you really like it or not.
I feel like this is a good way to kind of dip your toes in the water to see if you may be interested in something like that.
Totally.
I'm sure there's some people out there, they're like, why would I want to invest my time in thinking about these crimes and stuff? But
yeah.
It's very interesting. I'll leave it at that.
Perfect.
So you love your true crime, and I'm always looking for funny movies.
That's what balances us out so well.
Totally.
Yep.
And
you're a great movie finder.
Well,
every weekend you find great movies to watch.
I've been trying to find like funny comedies, like somewhat recently released, and because you can always find the classics. Like, you know what I was doing to find classic movies was I was just going on my phone and searching like top comedy movies of all time or whatever, and then just going down the list and just think to myself like, okay, well, I haven't seen that one, or I want to revisit that one.
Love it.
Because you can watch a movie now, I feel like, and it's a completely different movie from when you watched it as a kid. There's so many things
true.
that I can't speak for everyone, but I can talk for myself that I had forgotten, or now with who I am now, I watch the movie differently. You know what I mean? Like, you could show an adult the same movie as a child, but they're going to pick up on different things.
Absolutely.
Due to experience.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Anyways, I digressed. So a funny movie that we watched last Friday, it's called Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar.
I mean, the name.
It's hilarious. Kristen Wiig is in it.
She, I believe, wrote it.
She
she plays two characters in it. She's brilliant. Yeah.
She's brilliant. And it's kind of, so it's about like these two, I want to say these women in their 40s, and they've kind of lived this life of, it's almost kind of showing that they're living this boring life. Like, they look forward to their, their speaking club?
Yeah.
What is it, just a talking club?
Yeah, what was that club? I don't even know.
It was like a talking club. And they basically get kicked out of it. They lose their job, and they have to go on this new adventure to find themselves. And it's just very clever and super random, too.
You know what? In some ways, it reminded me of is like a female version of a old school Adam Sandler movie. Okay. Because it almost is like a funny storyline, but then you get the most random parts in there, and that's what Adam Sandler did so well. Super random. It's almost like you write the script, and then you're like, how can we make this more weird?
Like the beginning of the movie, because generally, like, I'll always watch like trailers or read like reviews from other people that have watched it, got great reviews, and it's just weird. I thought I was like started off like it's some Austin Powers.
Yeah,
movie.
You're right.
It's
it has
almost
a little Austin
like
Power-ish.
The second character Kristen Wiig was playing, it was almost like a female version of Dr. Evil. And I don't want to turn people off by saying that. You just have to watch it.
Yeah.
And I hope you like it. But if you're looking for a good comedy movie, check it out. Barb and Star, go to Vista Del Mar.
There you
go. Super
go.
random, but there you go.
Not for the kids, probably.
Yeah, I don't no. I was trying to think of like what it's rated, but it's not that bad. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's not a movie you'd watch with your kids. There's better movies to watch with your kids.
Totally. I agree. Anything else you had going on this week?
Well, I think we need to talk about what you had going on this week with those pretty brows, girl. Inquiring minds want to know.
Oh, I probably 2.5 years ago first got my brows microbladed. And my thing with my brows was they took so long to fill in and get even because they were uneven. Because if you have lived through like the 90s, There was a whole stage with Gwen Stefani and Drew Barrymore where they like plucked their brows like crazy and they had little thin lines of brows. So everyone wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And so women who are products of the 90s overplucked their brows. And so once you do that, your brows kind of stop growing back at some point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know any of this.
Yeah. So I had very thin, very light brows. So I decided to get them microbladed. And then, gosh, I don't know how many touch-ups I had, but it'd been...
Let's please explain, because like I didn't know any of this until you did. When you're like, I'm going to get some microblading. Like, sweet. Can I do that? What is it?
Well, let me tell you what I got done this time. So this time I went to someone new and I got powder done. And it's actually what she recommended because I have thinner skin, which tends to not heal microblading. So microblading looks like hair strokes.
Okay. It looks like hair strokes, but how are they doing it?
It's similar to a tattoo process. So microblading, I would say, is kind of like using an X-Acto knife instead of a tattoo gun in a less like disgusting way, if you know what I mean. And you're numbed up and everything.
They're essentially making tiny little slits
and then
filling it in
with the color. Exactly.
With color.
Exactly.
Okay, so
they do custom color.
That's what microblading is.
And this is why you want to go to someone who's really good, because I'm sure you can get it done for a lot less or like immediately, but you want to make sure they're even and someone really knows what they're doing. So with powder brow, it's more of, again, this is my first experience with it, but it's more of like a tattoo gun, but it's the same ink that they're using to color it. And the healing process is probably, I'm assuming, similar to a tattoo. The first few days after, maybe like 3 to 5 days, something like that, your brows get really dark. Like right now, they're a lot darker and a lot thicker than they will be. Then they start to flake off. Does a tattoo, it's been a long time since you got one, but do tattoos kind of start to flake?
They kind of start to scab and fall off. Yeah, in the beginning. Uh-huh.
Does the color get lighter at first and then it darken, or is it always kind of the same? You remember?
It's been a long time
I
since
know,
I've
I was
gotten
like,
a tattoo.
I would probably remember as well as you.
I mean, the tattoo stays pretty dark in the beginning. Over time, it just starts to fade.
Okay, so what's interesting about both microblading and powder, so again, microblading is going to look like hair strokes,
okay,
which didn't heal super well on my skin. It was more blurry, but I didn't actually mind it because it kind of like gave me a shape to work with, and I barely had to fill it in. Powder brow is going to look like my brows are completely filled in, but it's not hair strokes. It's more of like an ombre kind of look.
Okay.
So it's like shading.
And powder brow, and I'm learning, and even though I would never do this, it doesn't mean I'm not interested in all of this. And apparently a lot of people are, because you've been getting a ton of messages regarding this stuff, right?
Oh my gosh, and the lady I go to, I mean, she's booked out now. I had booked my appointment last September, and now it's February. Now she's booked out through next September.
Okay. So powder brow, is that what it was called?
Yeah, powder brow.
So it doesn't have anything to do with applying powder. What it means is it gives off a powdery / ombre look.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a very natural look, yeah. Once
Ombre,
it's healed and
technical
everything.
term, really.
So what's interesting is that I've written all about this on my website as far as my microblading experience, because what's interesting with the healing process is first it gets really dark and they're a lot thicker, and then your brows will start to fall off and pretty much all of the color leaves and it looks like nothing was done, which is very fascinating. And then it takes a few weeks, the color will reappear. Isn't that pretty cool?
It's like magic.
Right?
Call it magic brow.
Exactly. But if you don't know this process, when all of the color comes off,
It'd be scary.
you might freak out and be like, what did I pay for? It's
Yeah.
all gone, you know?
Yeah.
But then it comes back. And then you get a touch up too, because any areas that didn't take in your skin, they'll touch up for you.
Why don't you explain kind of like the process? Because I'm sure a lot of people are like, let's take, not powder brow, what was the other one called? Again?
Microblading.
Microblading. Some people hear that, they're like, you make small incisions? I'm like, no. Did that hurt?
It didn't, because they are, again, as long as you go to someone good, I only have experience with who I've gone to, really good at numbing up your skin. They use a numbing cream before that contains lidocaine. Is that what it is? Same thing they use at the dentist.
No,
And
that's Novocaine. But anything with cane Caine typically refers to.
Where's lidocaine used? Why does that sound familiar? Is that what they give you before
an
IV
if you get stitches,
sometimes?
it's a local
There you go.
anesthetic.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's a cream that completely numbs the skin. The best way I could describe microblading, powder I could hardly feel after she did that. You're almost kind of like, is she doing anything?
After she did what?
After she put the numbing cream on it, you can hardly feel anything. Obviously, you know she's on your eye, but it's like, is she doing anything?
Okay.
But then you can kind of hear the machine. But with microblading, it almost sounds like paper ripping in a way. You can just like, you don't feel anything, but you can hear it.
Everyone's like, okay, and I'm good.
And I'm out.
No, thank you.
Right. I am honestly, even through all of my health experience, I am someone who gets really queasy with these kind of things. And it oddly didn't bother me at all. And I think first because you can't feel it and you don't see it. You know?
I'm also guessing that like that sound you heard it, but I'm thinking other people can't. Because I remember bringing you to your appointment that one time 2.5 years ago. And wasn't I in the room?
Yeah.
And I didn't hear
Oh,
anything.
no. I feel like I could only hear it because your ears, like, right here.
Okay. All right.
It's very, very light sounding, but that's the best way I could describe it, as like a very light, like paper tearing.
There's some people who are like, thank you for saying that, Mike. Because like, oh my God, no. You can hear it? Paper tearing? People pay money for this?
Outside the room, right? Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
But what I love about it is that I won't have to do my brows. Like I'll get them touched up annually, but I don't have to do my brows. I could literally just leave and my brows will be even and done.
Okay, so for a man that doesn't do his brows, how much time are you saving? Because I don't know anything about that stuff.
Gosh, going back to before I ever got my brows done, I mean, it's been a long time, but I would probably spend like 10, 15 minutes and just trying to like get them even. Because one side, like the hairs might start way over here and one, they might start like more over here and you're trying to like even them out.
Okay.
And it takes a long time to get them even.
Okay.
And, like get them looking good. So yeah, it's basically like you could just wake up and go. Because that's usually one thing, even if I'm like not wearing makeup going out and about, I do my brows, especially because my brows are so light naturally. So now I can just literally like wake up and go. Don't have to do anything.
Like me, like a dude.
Exactly.
Shave, good to go.
Yep.
So within this last, I don't know, year and a half, I started going to get my brows done with Kristen. What do you even call that?
You mean waxing?
Waxing?
You don't get microblading.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I need to.
I'm like,
I definitely
wait
need
a
to
second.
experiment. I'm sorry. I'm
People
new
be
to
like,
all
how
of
do you
this.
not know what it is, Mike?
So, I mean, how did that even happen? You just asked me, or did I ask you?
I think you asked me. I don't think I'd ever ask you.
As I'm getting older, like in my 40s, like hair's growing longer. It's like, why are you growing on my eyebrow now? And I don't want to be all big and bushy. So I'm like, baby, help me. What do I do?
But everyone who's waxed your eyebrows are like, you have great eyebrows.
Okay.
Because they're used to seeing people who have probably just completely overplucked. And again, your hair will like stop growing back in some parts. So they have very little to work with.
Okay.
And for me too, they always say like my previous microblading or now powder gives them a great line to work with. They know what to follow.
Okay.
That's like Mike's one little thing he does for himself like that.
What?
Get your brows waxed.
Yeah, well, it's our
You've
little...
never been into like massages or
I don't...
facials. Those are my things. I
No.
love them.
I don't like massages. That's for you.
Yeah, I love massages.
Yeah. I don't like random people touching me.
He
Sorry.
likes back scratches.
I do. But not from random people.
So you wouldn't pay someone for a back scratch?
No.
Okay.
No, I think. I'm kidding.
No, I think.
It's different. It's different when someone you love like does something like that for you. It's just different.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're a kid and like your mom scratches your back or something. It's just different. There's love there.
That's why I love head pets, because that's how my mom used to put me to sleep.
And that's why I do them now.
Exactly. I woke Mike up this morning with a back scratch. You're welcome.
She did. I had a little bit of a harder time getting up.
I was like, come over here. I could tell you were tired.
Yeah, help me, baby. Help me.
It's like a nice, gentle way to wake up.
Ooh, you know what I do like as far as, because we're fortunate. We live close. We're like an hour away from Napa.
Mm-hmm.
And back before, the shutdowns and everything.
Oh, that's right. I forgot what you love.
doing a lot of stuff out there and bringing Kristen out there to get massages. And there's this one place where I get this mud bath that's actually pretty cool.
He loves mud baths. I'm actually not very into them.
It's just, it was like the one service that was offered that I'm like, well, I'll do that. Because I didn't have any interest in doing like a facial or like you said, massage or whatever. It's like, I'll try the mud bath.
Yeah, and you really liked it. Oh, I can't wait to be back there. I'll go for a massage.
Yeah, they've got like the hot springs over there, and they fill the pool with the water. And it was just like you're in this swimming pool, and it's like
So relaxing.
90, 95 degrees, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it just makes you feel so good because it's like this mineral-rich water. Something about the water over
It's so
there in that
beneficial for
place.
your body, I'm sure,
Yeah.
because your skin's absorbing all of that.
I really look forward to going back there.
Me too.
Right.
So much.
Well, any other brow stuff that we should cover? Because it seems to be pretty hot topic. A lot of people
Hopefully
are interested.
I mean, I got all my answers through Google. So there's so much great information out there. But
yeah.
it kind of leads into what we want to talk about today as far as, because it is a question that comes up as far as getting your brows done. Because some people might be concerned with certain health issues, say autoimmune, and getting a tattoo, because this is similar to a tattoo. It's using an ink that your body has to do something with and process. And one of the questions I got, not so much this time, but especially when I was first getting microblading done, is was I concerned about having an autoimmune disease and getting microblading and having it, you know, I don't know what the word for it, like activate my autoimmune disease. And it's something that I'm not at all worried about. And a lot of that comes from, I did a lot of my own research. I think it's so important just to make the best decision for you. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts as far as that part.
And who knows too, because it's like we are all so incredibly different, and we all react to things differently.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's like, I can't tell you if you are going to have an issue or if you're not going to have an issue. It's kind of up to you to figure out.
Or what's going to work for you or what's not going to work for you.
Totally.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I don't play into the fear porn, that's for sure.
Oh,
There's
not
enough
at
of that
all.
going around.
Not at all.
I don't listen to that.
Gosh, that's what I'd be curious your thoughts on it, because that's what I feel like I see so often is this desire for perfectionism when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle, like thinking that you have to be perfect. And that stops so many people because there is no perfect. So if you are striving for that constantly, they are constantly stopping themselves in their own tracks because they're like, okay, I can do X, Y, Z, but I can't do A and B. So forget it. I'm out. I'm done. This doesn't matter anymore.
So as far as perfectionism goes, especially within like a diet, I get it, because especially when you're making all these changes, you want to do the best you can. And especially if you're seeing changes, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that motivates people to try even harder. But I've learned in my life that the stress of worrying about making everything perfect, whatever that is for you, is more than likely worse off for you than that food that you view as imperfect. I feel
Speaking
like
the truth. Yes.
we can be so hard on ourselves. I know, because I'm getting better at that. Some people are just prone to that. And I am kind of a perfectionist, but it's the stress that kills me. Pun intended. I mean, I'm joking, but I'm not. I feel like that stress really causes issues. So it's all about finding a place of balance. Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
And that's going to look different for everyone. And I know that's really frustrating for some people to hear. But again, it goes back to kind of looking at it as a game. And I live my life by progress, not perfection. I didn't get to where I am. You didn't get to where you are in this lifestyle by changing everything all at once. It's like it started with food for us. It started, I would say, actually first mindset and then food, diving more into mindset. And then we would go into like products we were using around our house and skincare products and beauty products and changing those out one at a time and deciding what is worth it and what's not. Like, again, it goes back to microblading or powder. For me, that's totally worth it. And it brings me a lot of joy and it's fun. So that's what also makes it worth it. For some people, it might not be, because it might just completely stress you out and you might throw you into this state of what if, what if, what if. But I would also invite you to explore those feelings more and really write it out. For me, it helps to write it out, or you like type it in your phone, whatever it is, as far as your thoughts around certain things, to find out if there's any truth to them. But yeah, that's a huge one for me. And it can even go down to, say someone, and this is another thing I hear all the time, is feeling guilty or feeling like a certain food is bad. Like, say if you were eating like ice cream or cookies or whatever, thinking that you need to like make up for it in the gym, or that you need to feel bad, or that that's a bad food and then there's good foods. That all just throws you into this cycle of stress, which, just like you were saying, I think is so much worse for your body than the food that you could be eating. That makes sense?
Absolutely. Sometimes you need to feed your soul. Mm-hmm. Sometimes on a Friday night, you need to make some brownies. Mm-hmm. We both know that the brownie isn't the best thing that you could eat nutritionally wise, but it makes us feel awesome. We enjoy it. Brings us back to being kids. And it's like, we're not eating them for every meal. It's like, it's a little treat. I feel like treats are good. Mm-hmm. And it's rather than worry about, am I going to do okay with this? It's like, why not look at it like, I deserve this. I love this. The passion is there. It's different when you love something and you eat it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Just like when we talked about before, like getting those chocolate chip cookies from your grandmother when you're a kid. It's like, it's not only delicious because it just tastes good, but it's the love that goes into it.
Yeah, made with love.
Right?
That's why you can't repeat grandma's recipe.
Nah.
Even if she gave it to you. No,
you make up your own. You could make her exact recipe, but in my opinion, just never be the same, because It's like, you get the love of the grandma, like making it for you.
Exactly.
Right? Got to feed your soul.
Yep. And I really think it's just about self-empowerment, learning to make decisions for yourself and knowing that you made that decision and then moving on.
Totally.
Not making it a huge deal.
Yeah.
Whether it's getting something like microblading done or whether it's eating a cookie, it's all kind of the same thing. You're making decisions for you.
Absolutely.
We're a big fan of treats in this
And
house.
I love what you always say.
Oh, that's what I'd mentioned just a minute ago, the progress over perfection.
Progress over perfection. Yeah. It's so true.
That's how we live our lives.
Absolutely.
It's even how you're doing the show. You're making progress every single week, and it doesn't mean it's going to be perfect ever, but
but I want it to be.
This is where we're so different.
Oh my God. Yes. I've just been adding something new every week. If I would have done it all in the beginning, like, I couldn't have done it.
That's how you make lifestyle changes too. You add in something new one at a time. Once that thing becomes easier, much more manageable, sustainable, then you add something else in. But you don't do it all at once. You can, and maybe that will work for you. That wouldn't work for me. I completely stress myself out.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine back when we changed our diet, if we'd like changed all of our household products, all of our beauty products, all of our skincare products, and then started like freaking about all the little things that we're doing and freaking out about every single little ingredient.
Unsustainable. Completely unsustainable.
Yeah.
Like, my best advice for anyone trying to like figure something out and you're having a tough time is just break it down into steps, right? And then do every step individually. And then if you get stuck on one step, take that step, break it down, and do a bunch of different steps. And I feel like eventually you get to a point to where you can figure it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Well said.
Or maybe find someone that can help you out on your journey.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. If you have the ability, you don't have to do it alone.
It's amazing if you have like your intent on doing something and you're actively searching, it's amazing what comes to you if you're paying attention.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
I'm not saying you're going to think about something and all of a sudden the universe is just going to give you the answer, although that can happen.
I feel like you have to take the action steps.
Yeah,
the law of action.
There's action, but it's getting in the mindset of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah,
I feel like there's an energy there.
Yeah.
And then you're in there and you start attracting people and situations, and then that's how you learn. At least that's what's worked for us. Mm-hmm. Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, any other things you'd like to talk about with balance?
I think that was a great one. It's just not stressing yourself out. The worry that comes through in emails that I receive and DMs that I receive. I wish I could talk to each individual person and let you know that it's going to be okay. You just have to really learn to let go of that stress.
Easier said than done.
Yes, you know this. You know
and
this.
It takes practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
it's like a simple concept, but not easy to apply. You know, as with many things.
Absolutely.
But yeah, when you practice at these things, and I feel like the more informed you stay, more research you do, more balanced research, I would say, the more it can help. If you're only reading or listening to like one side of opinions on things, it might throw you in the opposite direction.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on that.
Okay. Well, that was a quickie.
Yeah.
It was a nice short one. And as everyone knows here, so this is going to be turning into a podcast. Drop us a comment. Let us know the things that you enjoy hearing about. Do you like the chit chat?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want us to talk about?
Yeah. Or anything that you are struggling with finding balance in. Let us know how we can help.
Yeah, we'd like to start addressing questions in the episodes too. Mm-hmm. So if you have one, throw one on down there.
I got a whole list of them on here.
Oh boy. Okay. Then we'll just add them to the list.
There we go. Perfect.
Okay. Well, we love you guys. Hopefully you're having a great week, and we will see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
All
Thanks
right.
for hanging out.
Peace, everybody.